Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we're doing a Mimic tier list. If you do not remember a while ago, I did a Mimic tier list, and yeah, it went pretty well, but this time I want to do an updated tier list with Book 2 Chapter 2, Book 2 Chapter 3, the new, winter event, and Nightmare Circus. So the winter event is not here, okay? It's not on this list yet, because I haven't played it, because I'm doing this, like, the day after the thing came out, and I want to get the tier list out as soon as I could, so I want to do a lot of the tier list first. So, at the end of the video, I'll add the Yeti stuff, but for now, we're just going to be working with this. So, reset my tier list that I did, which is disappointing. I worked so hard on that, if you don't remember the video I did the tier list on, yeah, I did pretty good on that, okay? I did amazing, okay? I ranked everything. I think this guy was the best on the tier list. So now, from here to here is updated, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I think this is where it starts, this is where it ends. Actually, like, over a half. Geez, yeah, there's a lot of new enemies I have to rank. This time it's scripted, and you'll be seeing clips in the background. So it's just a better quality video overall. So, yeah, this will be cool. So, yeah, just Yeti stuff will be at the end. Let's get this started. Oh, yeah, my opinion probably is going to change a little bit. And, I'm going to be starting with the Book 2 Chapter 3 stuff first, because that's, like, the newest stuff. Okay, first up, we have Gozu. I don't know how you actually say his name. They're one of the first characters of Chapter 3. I'm really disappointed that all they do is just have one cutscene. They look pretty cool. I prefer Mezu over them, though. I think that's how you say their name. They have no lore as of now. I'll just say. So, let's go put them in C tier. Okay, I'll put them there. Yeah. If they're running why there's doubles, is because... yeah, I don't know what the heck happened. I glitched out, okay? So whatever, he's gonna go in C tier. I'm gonna sort these all out at the end, so don't worry about that. Okay, so they are the second character in the Gozu cutscene. Yet again, all they do is just stand there and talk. I prefer the way Mezu looks over Gozu. No lore, but they are still C tier. Sadly. Enjoy sitting there, bro. Alright, this thing is next. I have a lot to say about you than these two so far. The flying monster has multiple appearances. It appears as a jump scare and an enemy in the heart gathering part. It is a pretty good jump scare, and the spamming E mechanic is pretty interesting and fun. In the part where you have to make the torch weapons, when you have to take the materials out of the cave holes, there is a chance that the flies will come out and you have to do the spam E minigame. It could get annoying if they keep coming out, but it is cool to have a little extra obstacle in that part. The final section, there in the bell part. You have these bone sword things, and you can kill the flies with them. There's only like one fly per bell room, it seems. If you get it right and you hit them, they instantly die. Less of a threat here than in the torch part. They're fine. They look okay. They kind of look funny in the spam E minigame, but they have no lore as of now. They are surprisingly not too annoying minor obstacle in the couple of sections that they're in. I've only played this once, so my opinion will probably change in the future. Yeah, it's surprising, but I'm going to put him in A tier. I just don't find him that annoying. I don't know. Okay, next up, I think it is... wait, I took the wrong one. Go at the bottom down here. I think it's you. You're next. Get up here. Okay, so it's like the main antagonist of the torch section. They have a small chase before the actual section. It's fine, but it's glitched for me, and there wasn't really a chase. They aren't too annoying in the actual torch part, though. It also does not have a name yet, by the way. If you craft the torches, you throw them at the creature and it stuns them. When I played, I didn't die too much, but throwing the torches was cool. They look pretty weird and cool. Two-sided heads are cool. No lore. Not much to say. Just gonna put him in B tier. Where the heck is he? Oh, put him up here. B tier. Let's sort these out. You go here. Or we do that at the end. Never mind. Stay there. Yeah, we got you. Go up here. So the crafters are not an enemy. In the torch part, when you have to find the materials, they will craft the torch thing to kill the two-faced demon. They look pretty funny when they are crafting the torches. Not much to say, no lore, just harmless creature that helps you. I'll just say B tier. Pretty nice. Okay, next up we got you. Okay, let's get up here. Okay, this guy is interesting. So when you finish the Simon Says puzzles, one of his arm tentacles come up from the ground and you have to kill them. They're pretty easy. If they pick you up, you have to spam E. Not much to say about the arms. Kind of just gets tedious. When Yield himself comes up from the ground, it gets interesting. So when you finish ringing the bells and killing the arms, Yield will come up from the ground and actually start hunting you down. There are these door things around the map. They have to do a puzzle to open. The puzzles might be confusing at first, but it isn't too bad. You just have to mash the symbol on the door with the rings for the code. The problem is, when Yield sees you, he will say Yield, and a bunch of numbers will flash on the screen repeatedly and fast. When a number pops up, you must type it in on the keyboard. On mobile, to tap the dots on the screen instead. I didn't know this at first. I thought it was the amount you were supposed to do. If you fail doing this, Yield will run at you. Oh my god, sorry. Yield will run at you at lightning speed and kill you. I found this part frustrating on my first playthrough. I think it could be interesting. He looks pretty cool. I like his whole vibe. It's interesting and disturbing, especially his voice when it says Yield. It's kind of hard to see him sometimes, but not bad. His chase is a pain. He can teleport in front of you, not randomly, but it'll be a scripted teleport in front of you and try to catch you off guard. The chase is intense and could be cool. No lore yet. Overall, a difficult, frustrating, and intense enemy that could be cool. B tier. I can definitely see him in the future getting an A tier higher. Let's go there, buddy. Alright, by the way, hold on, let's just get the next character up. I think it's you. By the way, if I'm sounding a little weird, this is the first time I'm actually using a script. It's just very weird looking at a script and saying it. I don't know. I was about to try a script this time because it feels like sometimes I have trouble thinking about where I want to put characters and stuff. I thought it'd be easier. If I can't get used to it, I might just switch back to just speaking of how I feel about them. I don't know. Let's just keep going. So this thing might be the Statue of Jealousy that has been seen a couple times, around the town and stuff in Chapter 1. I forget where it was. It is super easy. When Jealousy or Senzai talk, just so you know, I barely know how to pronounce their names. So yeah, if I get them wrong, then yeah, I'm sorry. But I don't know which one, which character is talking when this is happening. I think it might be Jealousy, I don't know. But this dark Jealousy will come to the boat, and you have to hold E on him and he'll go. Really easy, and gets slightly more difficult later on in the boat segment. He looks alright, no lore. Yeah, I'm sorry, he's just gonna go in D tier. He's just not my favorite. Okay, this guy's interesting. Let's put him up. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's the evil version of us. It could be our brother, but I'm pretty sure it's us because I'm pretty sure we're playing as our brother. They hunt you down the Five Nights at Freddy's section of the game. It seems like they only hunt down one player per night because I got chased once and a couple times and I died and never saw him again and my brother kept dying. So I'm very confused about the mechanics in the entire Five Nights at Freddy's section. They also appear in the cabinets and they go through the walls to hunt down the player they want to kill. I'm pretty sure they will hunt you down even if you're praying, doing the dishes, or cleaning the floors. It feels like instant death if he's hunting you down. He looks fine. He kind of reminds me of a puppet for some reason. No lore besides being like us or our brother, I don't know. But it's from the point of view of our brother, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, sadly he's gonna go in D tier, buddy. See, that just reminds me of puppet, I don't know why. Okay, you're next. I think I have a lot to say about you too. Yeah, he's the main antagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's section. At 6 p.m. he'll come home. If you're not in bed, he'll try to hunt you down. If he enters your room, you must do the heartbeat when he's looking at you. Kind of like the figure part from Doors. I'm very confused about this part. It says to do the dishes and clean and get the pests away and pray. But on night 3 and on, it's really hard to get most of that done. When he gets home and it's not done, he doesn't care. I don't know what's the point of doing any of the tasks. I need to play the part to understand it more, maybe. It seems like he can just go to bed without doing anything. Either way, if they fix this part up or I actually figure out how to do the tasks, this part would be cool. I just wish the nights had more variety though, because it's it just gets harder and harder instead of adding anything new. The father walking around the house is creepy. He looks cool. The tentacles coming out of the mouth are pretty disturbing too. Really cool. No lore really besides just being our father. I guess I go in A tier. Okay, this one's just not very interesting. This should be fast. So I don't even think this thing has a name. I'm just gonna call it the Subway Demon. They chase you down on 2 subway carts, and you have to spam E in a door. That's basically it. I wouldn't really call it a chase. I know what's the point of them, really. They look alright, no lore as well, not much to say, just kind of feels random and short. Let's just put them in D tier. Excuse you. Okay, this thing. Another interesting one. You smell their feet, then they jump scare you later on. What even is this thing? Seriously. Okay, obviously you don't smell its feet. You pick up a crowbar under its legs. But still. Like F tier. Like, just get out of here. Okay, next up we got, excuse you, doll thingy. That's basically the name of it. Well, the name is just like question mark in like the thing, so I don't think it actually has a name yet. They kind of just guide you through the sections. They tell you what to do sometimes and have some dialogue about what your main goal is. She keeps mentioning the dealer, which I'm pretty sure is Shinigami. At the very end, Shinigami rides the doll thing as you get chased, but they get really close at the end. It kind of gets intense. I thought I was gonna die. They look pretty funny. No lore. Let's just quickly shove them in C tier, I guess. Oh, yay. That's what I want to talk about next. Okay. They're more of an item than a character, actually. You need to feed this thing some larvae, and they are scattered around the map that's separated with a big gate they need to get across using these lifts. After you get one of the 4, well, now it's 3 after the update, but since I played it was 1 out of 4, larvas, Chainsaw Man spawns in. The larvae attack you and kill you if you hold them for too long. If you get a larva from the side with the waterfall, you have to go through the tunnel and over the gate across the town to get to the creature. It takes a while with the Chainsaw Man and the statues as enemies. You can also pass the larva to other players, I guess so you can pass them to the other player so they can go over the gate instead of you, which could be time saving. The larvae look creepy and disturbing, especially when they start to scream. No lore, just D tier. Bye. Okay, here we go. Shove you in the stand. This is just where I put them while I'm talking about them. I can't tell if the statues are supposed to be the father, our character, or our brother, or none of them. I don't know. Either way, they're pretty cool. They have done like something like this with Tokitos. I don't know actually how you say it, or Shizu from Book 1. I think this did the SCP-173 mechanic the best. I think they're better as a side enemy, like the Fly or something. They are a minor enemy of the Chainsaw Man and the minor enemy of the I Spy part. They don't move mega fast either. They look alright, like a statue made out of poop. I can't tell if the statue is supposed to be a specific person or not. No lore. So I'm gonna put them in A tier. Okay. Biggest disappointment. Let's just shove you in the stand. Alright. I really want to like him, okay? In the sneak peek, I love this jump scare because I saw it. The sneak peek looked super cool. I was looking forward to him the most. Boy, did I jinx it. After the first larva, Chainsaw Man spawns in, and you must get 3 more, or 2 in the version I haven't played yet. My problem is there's no way to escape him. You can hide in the outhouses, but there's only 2. He sticks in the first half of the map, and he just spams kill you. It feels like such a gameplay downgrade. No offense to Judy at all, but this part reminded me of some of the parts in that game. An enemy they have to hope gets stuck or gets lucky to get around. Once you get past them, you have to get to the lift somehow when you get the larva. I don't know if I missed something here and there's an easy way to avoid him, but after I played, it just seems like you need to have luck to get around him. I don't know how this is even slightly possible in Nightmare mode, but it seems like you would always die. But he looks pretty cool, and his jump scare and chainsaw are amazing, even though after 30 minutes of trying this, the revving of the chainsaw starts to annoy me. But, I don't know, I like the way he looks and stuff. It's just, his gameplay is just not very good, in my opinion. No lore like always. A cool character ruined by not great gameplay. C tier mainly because of looks. Without his looks, probably be D or F. Oh yeah, you get to talk about this thing. Okay, this abomination eats the larva that you get. It looks amazing. Yeah, no lore, luckily. Yeah, it's gonna shove you in F tier where you belong. Okay, yeah. So I actually wrote mud above this because it's so hard to tell what the heck this thing's supposed to be. Okay, it is literally just mud. Even the statues of something could be better here. It is just a lump of mud. To be fair, it's like the shoe monster from Little Nightmares, like you can't see them or anything. Still, they chase you from the front, and it's hard to see in the darkness of the section. They look like mud. No lore, so F tier. I mean, it's literally mud. I'm ranking mud here. Okay, here we go. Now we get you. Let's put you in the stand. Alright, so they had two sections. The first section is basically I Spy. It gives you a list of items you have to find around the room in a standing position, and your camera moves slowly. When you hear a noise, you must find Yuri. Is that how you say their name? I don't know. She's not a threat at all, okay? When I played it, like 90% of the time, she went to the left of me and stood there. It starts to get tedious after doing it like 5 times. Her boss was very difficult. You have to throw these katanas at her, which I think is the best weapon we've gotten out of all these boss fights. I do think Shinigami would have been more of a fitting boss for this chapter. The katanas are a little hard to aim, but satisfying. I like how you have to collect them around the arena. It is the most epic and least tedious boss with more fast-paced style, I would say, but she has some attacks I dislike. She can dash at you, and it's very difficult to dodge because it can come out of nowhere. In her second phase, the roots come up from the ground and are unavoidable. There are no indicators of where they will come up from. The tree that grows in the middle is fine. I think there should be indicators when the roots come up and a more fair reaction time for the dash, and either give the player more health or lower the hit points for the boss. I think this is the best and most interesting design boss, even though it kind of frustrated me a lot. She looks alright, nothing too special. I'm not the biggest fan of the design, so yeah, no lore. I'm going with B tier just because I'm not a big fan of her first section and her design is meh. So let's put her in the middle. Alright, the final enemy of chapter 3. Let's see. Here he is. Jealousy, but like the super version, I guess. I really hope they're cool in chapter 4. Jealousy has no jump scares or sections so far. Each chapter he's just been a cutscene at the end. I really thought I was going to have an appearance in this chapter and was able to actually jump scare you before we go Super Saiyan. In the end, it showed the army of enemies that we've seen in the past, so I hope they bring them back in chapter 4. He looks amazing. I love his design. I think red or blue instead of the white on him would have fitted him better. But if this is his final boss design, it is pretty cool. No lore really, but I think he does deserve S tier. He's just cool. Okay, so chapter 3 is done. So yeah, there's quite a lot of Fs. It kind of goes all through it really, but there's no S tiers besides Shinigami. I mean, what, Shinigami? I mean Jealousy. What the heck am I saying? Okay, so let's move on to the next section. Yeah, next up we have, now we're going to Nightmare Circus. Ronnie is pretty difficult. The music box takes a while to wind up, and I died in a lot of the hiding spots. It's hard to tell if a spot is meant for hiding or not. He is decently fast. The map isn't very big, but there are a lot of objects to hide behind. Ronnie looks amazing. I especially love his voice. He reminds me of Pennywise or something. Mainly because of the hair. He doesn't have lore, sadly. So yeah, honestly, I'm just gonna have to go with A tier. Okay, he is a difficult one to rank. He looks really good. I like how creepy his long fingers are and how disturbing his face is. His voice is also very good, but whenever I was in nightmare mode, I just kind of didn't want to help, mainly because this part feels very difficult. He can teleport around, which is also a pain. I found putting the code into the cards to be cool. He is pretty fast too. His boss fight is alright. It's kind of tedious again. A lot of his attacks are easy to dodge. He has no lore, like always. But yeah, he's fine. I'm just gonna stick him in B tier. Alright. I know I'm counting the balloon as a second character, but I am. Yeah, I know I'm considering this a different character, But yeah, I guess I am. The balloon comes up from the big music box in the first cutscene. Then Ronnie comes up. Ronnie holds a balloon whenever he's chasing. It looks funny and kind of cute. I guess I'll put him with Ronnie. Yeah, I guess we'll just shove him in A tier. Okay, now we're moving on to Book 2, Chapter 2. Let's put him in the stand. This is the first enemy. Not in the game. It's just the first one I have on this tier list. Yeah, they are the second enemy of Chapter 2. I don't know why it's out of order. I was surprised when I first saw them in the main menu. They never had a sneak peek or shown in a trailer, I'm pretty sure. They roam around the kitchen and the dining area. You have to collect food and bring it to Nepeppo. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. You will use it later on, but we'll get to that later. The map is decently big in this part. The part is difficult in Nightmare mode because sometimes they camp the hiding spots you're in. So yes, this part is similar to the death mazes in Book 1, but I think this one's better than most because the map looks good. You can map out in your head where you are, but it can be distinguished from one another. Kuishinimbo? I don't know how to say his name. Okay, I don't know. It's not too fast. To be fair, they are fair. You could run to them into a hiding spot a lot of the time. I didn't find them super annoying. The stairs in the middle of the map are a safe area. You have to bring each individual meat, sadly. The amount changes of how many players there are. They look really cool. The two heads with the giant mouth is weird. They stand up when they walk, but they crawl when they chase. Kind of like the Liquor Man from Chapter 1 Nightmare mode. They don't have any lore like always. But yeah, I like them a lot. I'm gonna put them in S tier. Okay, put you in the stand. Okay, so she has a quick cutscene before the section starts. They never actually kill you. You have to listen for them and find them. I like this mechanic, but when you find her, she jump scares you. You don't die, but that's basically her only jump scare. You have to do this a few times. Don't worry, there is an actual threat in this area that I'll talk about later on. I don't think this section is too hard or annoying, at least with her mechanic. She looks decent. I don't really have a problem with her. She reminds me a lot of the Slit-Mouthed Woman, or this... I don't know how to say this. But guess what? She actually has lore. In the premiere trailer of Book 2, Chapter 2, she has a short story video. Chihiro, I don't know how to say her name, was an orphan and was jealous because she saw other kids that had parents. Kurayami was a creature that we'll get to in a second, offered to adopt her. Then everyone was scared of her mother. I wonder what the mother could be. A demonic creature? Well, that's just a theory. Oh, forgot. MatPat is quitting YouTube. Okay, you know, just because of that. Putting him in B tier just because MatPat's quitting YouTube. Let's doing it. All because of that. Okay, move on to Mother. Kuramaye, or Mother, is the enemy of the hide and seek part. I have been killed by them once in Nightmare mode. Yeah, so now I don't like them. F tier. Okay, obviously that's a joke. In normal mode they are fine. Luckily she isn't too fast. You can hide in these locker cabinet things around the map. Oh yeah, by the way, I wasn't looking at clips or anything before writing this script, so I don't fully remember what you hide in or anything, but this isn't the only part that she's in. There is a big Slenderman type part. It isn't too hard, all she does is teleport around, can't look at her. This part takes really long and gets sadly tedious and annoying. She looks pretty cool though. She has kind of a basic, but yeah, it's a pretty nice design though. She doesn't have any lore besides what I said about, you know, the kid that I was just talking about. So yeah, I put her in A tier. Next up we have you. Okay, I don't even know your name. I don't have much to say about this person that I don't know how to spell their name. They're fine. It's basically just red light, green light. All it is just Squid Game. It is a fast part, so it doesn't last that long, luckily. They look alright. Their design is weird. They have a super small head and you can barely see their face. No lore as well. Overall, just kind of forgettable. The whole part just feels random. Yeah, it's gonna put him in C tier. Okay, time for Nepeppo. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. I mean, just look at him. Okay, so yeah, they make you find the meat for the section with, I don't know how to say the name. Later on in the chapter, you have to do a cooking section and feed a monster that we'll talk about in a second, with the meat that you got. Once you feed him your meat, you collected, Peppo has a couple of lines. That's all we see of him, just more of an important NPC dialogue character. He looks like the most amazing, majestic, glorious creature I've ever seen. Also, no lore. Put him in A tier. Okay, moving on, we have you. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I can't say like half the names, I'm sorry. I was excited for this thing before the chapter came out. The first part it is in is a cooking part. It is a really fun and cool part. This part is obviously inspired by Overcooked. I thought it was a really neat section of the game. You have to make and prepare different foods for Zaboshi, I think. It is weird that he's in the first trailer, and it is weird that in the first trailer he looked drastically different. Sadly, that design probably is scrapped. He looks cool now though. His second part is a chase. It is the longest and hardest chase in my opinion. I've actually died here in nightmare mode. The boulders and trying to stick to the path can be difficult. The creature's jump scare is cool as well. I love how the jaw launches out of its face to kill you. No lore, but in Japanese mythology, Yushi Oni, the name of the creature, lives near water. Most of them have an ox upper half and a disturbing cow lower half. It can have variations too, like spiders or cats. I don't know if that's canon to the Mimic or anything, but you have to put him in S tier. Okay, one of my personal favorites, honestly. This guy looks super cool and scary in the trailer. He's kind of hard in nightmare mode. I've actually died many times because I can't make it to the box in time. This part is super frustrating for me in nightmare mode. In normal mode, it is cool and I like it a lot. The Simon Says puzzles are neat too. Having to do them fast and correctly is stressful. This part seems like it would be super easy at first, but the time it takes for Ryoshi, I think that's his name, to come up from the pit isn't very long. You must hide in a box when he comes up from the pit. He will also have a sound cue when he comes up. He looks really creepy in the trailer. He's also good and creepy here too. The way he climbs up from the pit is also scary. No lore, sadly like always. Yeah, I think he does deserve S tier. Alright, next up, let's put you up here in the stand. Yeah, I don't think they actually have a name. But yeah, I thought they're actually going to be important. They just sit on top of the house that you can enter. In the Mother Chihiro section, I think that, I don't know. He's just a prop on the map. He looks pretty cool, I guess. But F tier because I thought he was actually going to be a character. Sadly. Okay, moving on, we have you. Oh, this one's going to be cool. This boss is like way better than the first boss. When they pick you up off the boat and have to spam E is very cool. I've only done this part once since I've played it in my nightmare mode video because it's super hard to get up to, even though it is in normal mode too, but I'm just too lazy to play it again, okay? But I had to spend a lot of Robux on this because I thought it was difficult. It is still a really cool boss. I like how it's more fast-paced and less tedious than the last one. Overall, I think I just had a good time with this one. They look really cool in Phase 2 version of them. I think they look better than Phase 1 version. Its arms are super cool and I just like it a lot. No story, it is just the snake thingy. And it doesn't have any lore either. Yeah, I'm going to put it in S tier. Alright, moving on, we have you. Yeah, this is actually the first enemy. Well, not the first enemy, but they're one of the first enemies in Chapter 2. I don't know why they're towards the bottom of the order. The gameplay is really cool. It is not annoying as well. Just avoid the glass and don't touch them. The way they pick up the player and tombstone them is hilarious. It is also fun and not an annoying section. You can mess around with them at the end and keep going and out of the last couch section and triggering them to chase you. It is really easy though. Just don't run and step in the glass. Even though when it first came out it seemed like it was glitchy because, don't know how to say his name either, on the table clipped underneath it and can kill the player if they go under it. They come later on in the puzzle section. It's a relaxing part and nice puzzle. What I don't like is it seems like they just put in there to slow down the player because they don't do too much. They're basically just a mini obstacle in that entire area. There's barely any glass in that area. I've only died a couple of times on my first playthrough on normal mode, I'm pretty sure. They look funny and move weirdly. I like their design a lot. No lore. I'm gonna put them in S tier. Okay, Pon, or the whales, I guess. Okay, let's just put them here. The whales are just a scenic thing around the map. You can see them well in this part. We have to flip these levers while nothing chases you. Seriously, an enemy could have been cool here, even if they just put a reused one. Whatever, you can just see them in so many different areas because they are a prop, basically. However, the little kid that I was just talking about before has one that you can ride to the ship. You can't control it, sadly. It would be super cool if you could, though. But it shoots you off its back and onto the boat. A side character, but the whale is called Pon, that the little kid has. They also look cool, though. They look like a jellyfish whale since the skin is see-through. They also remind me of those skeleton Mario fish. As soon as I saw the first sneak peek, I thought they were bad because of the Mario fish. They kind of have a story in their mythology. If you see them in the water, it gives bad luck. Now I'm going to put you in S tier. Oh, lagging. Help. Okay, S tier. Alright, this one's interesting, I guess. You can see them lifeless in Chapter 1 around the map. In Chapter 2, they actually have a chase right after the meat collecting part. They're all stacked onto each other. I was not expecting this when I first played. The first time I played, we had a glitch. When my brother slid under the table, he got stuck, and they walked right over him. So when he got unstuck, he couldn't die by them. So basically, we had to replay the entire thing the next day. So yeah, bad first impressions. Then it took us forever to beat it, because it's pretty difficult, and it sometimes spawns you backwards. One of my least favorite chases, honestly. They look fine, they're just skeletons. I was hoping they were going to be huge, and look like the dead ones from Chapter 1. But sadly, they only have that chase. No lore, but in Japanese mythology, there are dead soldiers. When their bodies are left to rot in the fields, their souls are reborn as ghosts. They are angry against the living, so when the bones of victims form, it turns into a Gashadokoro? I don't know. Pretty cool. But sadly, that lore isn't official. So yeah, I'm just gonna shove him in C tier. Okay, final character, if you even consider it one. Here he is. I mean, Book 2, Chapter 2. They're at the end of Chapter 2. All they do is just sit there next to your brother. I thought they were actually going to be Mio in the trailer. They might be, but I have no clue what they could actually be. It doesn't do anything. They do appear in the end cutscene in Chapter 3, but I thought it was going to be the final boss of Chapter 2. They look decent, I guess. No lore, of course. F tier until they get an actual appearance. Bye-bye. Alright, moving on to the actual order of this list. So these are all same things that we've done. Ignore these down here. These are all same things that we've done from last video, but I definitely have some different opinions on them. I'm pretty sure. I looked back at my old video to see how my opinions differ from one another, and yeah, definitely changed. Alright, Heihachi. They're the first character from my old tier list, and the first character in the entire game. Heihachi is fine. I was never a really big fan of her. Gameplay-wise, it's kind of annoying. The maze feels very small and linear. She always is in your way. I think her design is decent. Story-wise, she's pretty good. I like that she's connected to Shaku from Chapter 2 of Book 1. I don't have much to say since she's just the first enemy of the entire game. I think I'm going to put her in... Yeah, I have to go A tier. Okay, next up is Shizu. I think that's how you say their name. Yeah, I used to like Shizu, but now they're just fine. Gameplay-wise, they're cool, but easy. They never come back after that cave section from Chapter 1. Yeah, they have a cool mechanic where they chase you if you get too close. Design-wise, they're cool too. After the revamp, they look really good. Before the revamp, they're kinda eh. They basically have no story or just not important to the stuff for the plot. I'm pretty sure they're like a painter or something, but nothing really relevant to the story, I think. That's fine. I think they do deserve a B tier. I think that'd be fair for them. Alright, here we go, Biwaki. Biwaki is interesting. I have mixed feelings about her. Gameplay-wise, not good. She barely has a part. You literally just have to run around her and you can exit. The jump scare is very good though. Design-wise, also really good. After the revamp, they look really creepy. Before the revamp, they were alright, but I really like after the revamp, especially their jump scare. But yeah, in the new revamp, yeah, they're very creepy and cool. The story is okay. Not too many interesting things to say about the story. She is Kaito's daughter, my best one from last video, who we'll get to soon. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna put her in B tier, sadly. Oh, not A, B. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Okay, next up is you. Kuriko, I think that's how I say the name, is decent. They have a cool part. I don't think they're too annoying or anything, which is surprising considering they're one of the maze characters. I like their maze. I think they're one of the most fair maze sections of the game. They look really cool too. They are a little basic, but yeah, that's alright. They have an interesting story. She's friends with Biwaki. She lived in an orphanage. I don't know, pretty neat lore-wise. I'll give her a B tier. I think right in the middle. Okay, next up is Megumi. Okay. This one is very sad. Yeah, I used to like her a lot. Now, yeah, she's just okay. I liked her old design way more. Now she just looks too similar to the painting creature from Book 2, Chapter 1. She is very easy, pretty similar to Biwaki. Her story is kinda weird. She started eating people and stuff, which is pretty weird and funny. Before the revamp, she was probably a B tier. Now I'm probably gonna have to say C tier. Okay, this one's interesting. We got you. He is in the game a lot. He is one of the only characters that makes a second appearance. Gameplay-wise, he's okay. And the first part is like not great. Second part, he's kind of annoying and difficult. I'm not the biggest fan of the second maze. I like how he looks and probably one of the best looking book characters from Book 1. Obviously, his story is good. He is the one that sealed the beasts, so he is pretty plot heavy. His daughter is Shaku, I think. I'm pretty sure a lot of the lore is not canon because they're currently revamping the lore. Either way, it's still good. I'm counting the scrapped lore because if you don't have any at all, you know, it kind of be unfair. So I'm gonna have to kind of, yeah, I'm gonna give him a. Okay, I kind of have to just give him an S tier. What else can I do? Shaku. Okay, here we go. Shaku is pretty interesting. She has two mazes. The first one's okay. The second one is with the mutated Shaku, but I'm counting that as a different character. Her gameplay was fine. She used to have two mazes before the revamp. I forget if she still does, but she used to camp the butterfly so much. She looks decent. I think her old design was a little bit creepier. Story-wise, I think the only plot point is that she was the samurai guy's daughter, and that she's Hiachi's doll, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I'm just gonna give her B tier. There you go. This one, I think you know where this one's gonna go. Mutated Shaku is honestly amazing. My first reaction to seeing that abomination was pretty crazy. I think the gameplay was the same as the first Shaku maze, but who cares? It's still better. Okay, the design is funny, and I like it a lot. I just don't think it's the most visually impressive models. She has no lore, technically, if you're counting that separate from Shaku. But yeah, how could I not give her a S tier? Like, how could I not? Oh, excuse you. I'm putting her in S tier. Okay, next up, Sama. Sama. I'm mixed on her. I just never really liked her that much. I've always tend to not like the main villain as much as the side ones. I don't know why. Her gameplay is fine in Chapter 2. It is a pretty frustrating maze. The other two appearances, I'm not counting as this specific character because, you know, they look different and I'm just not counting them, okay? Her design is pretty nice. I'm just not the biggest fan. I like the newer design. I think the old one is funnier and creepier at the same time. But yeah, the new one does feel better. Lore-wise, she is the main villain, but she does not have a lot of lore necessarily. Her lore is basically she's just one of the four beasts and got sealed by the samurai guy. She was trapped under a sakura tree, I'm pretty sure. She lured your character there to try to free her. So yeah, I think she's decent. A tier. We should have put her in S last time. Okay, this one's interesting. This was my favorite last time. Honestly, Huey is one of my favorites. Well, he was my top spot on my first tier list. I have always liked him. His build up on the boat is actually really good. Especially the part when he's behind you when you read the poster on the wall, when his head twists around in the math room. His section is easy but not annoying, and not so easy that he barely has a part. I really liked his gameplay. His design is pretty decent. Yes, I miss it when he looked like Michael Jackson. His new design is cool though. His jump scare is good. His floating Biwaki is really cool, and I like all the music and stuff. It's just really cool. His story is also pretty nice. His daughters are Mahari and Biwaki. I like how he brought Sama into the house, not knowing what was gonna happen. All around, just good. Yeah, it's gonna have to go in S tier. Ah, look. Speaking of Mahari. Chapter 3 has a lot of characters that I like. Mahari is also one of my favorites. The revamp and the old version are very different from each other for Mahari. In the old one, Mahari was in some cave area with some spider webs. I thought it was one of the creepiest parts of the game. You have to get 3 skulls and put them on the hands. The maze was very small, so Mahari could easily find you. It was a nightmare in nightmare mode. The newer one replaces the skulls with a bell that I have to find around the house. It is more open and bigger. It's still pretty small, even though the old version was harder. It was still cool and creepy. I think the old one was creepier and cooler, but the new one is more fair. You could hide in the bushes on the walls in the old one, and the new one there are cabinets. Mahari is pretty annoying in both versions, honestly. The old one, the old design for Mahari is way more creepy in my opinion. I almost might like the old one better. The new one looks more better in quality, I guess. It's still good, but the old one just looks more zombie-like. The new one just looks too human, I guess. The old one fades in and out of sight. I don't think that the new one does that. The story is basically just she's Kaito's daughter and she got sick. Kaito played the Biwa. She tried to stand up and died. I still like her a lot, and I'm going to have to say S tier. Okay, pop her right into S tier. You. Yeah, I don't like them at all. They're probably one of the most annoying enemy ever. They don't change much at all between the old and the revamp. The pillars on their own are fine, but it's so hard to avoid the Amucade? I don't know. Maybe saying I don't like them is a little dramatic. They're okay, I guess, but the worst version of Sama. Though they look pretty good, not my favorite design. The red legs in the newer one are better than just the basic black ones in the old one. Basically no story if you count them as a different enemy than Sama. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a D. Yeah, I'm gonna go hard on them. Okay, next up, we move on to chapter 4. Kiko is more of a side enemy. In Nightmare Mode, they replaced Daku, aka our dad. They have no gameplay change besides maybe being faster and harder to detect or hear. I don't know. You have to hide in each classroom and they're nearby. Well, not like each. Well, it doesn't matter. You can hide in the classroom and they're nearby. They aren't too annoying because there are 2 floors in this section. Design-wise, they look pretty cool. I like how they float, and the barbed wire around their face is pretty cool too. Story-wise, they're just your mother. Soon, she's going to be rewritten to be the protagonist of the Witch Trials, which we'll get to the Witch Trials' current protagonist. And yeah, I don't know where I'm going to put them because, you know, it's kind of weird that they're not going to be a protagonist anymore. Currently, her story is just basic and non-important. She is good, so yeah, I'm gonna put her in A. Alright, these things. Okay, so yeah, they are cool. The first time I saw them, it was pretty scary. After the first time, it kind of gets really easy, though. They're basically just SCP-173. At least they're not too annoying. It's pretty decent gameplay. They look okay. They didn't get revamped in the big revamp that they just had like a year ago. Their story is that they lived in a village and they turned into a doll or something. I don't think they're the part of like the Massage family or like the family that, you know, is all the enemies and stuff. Like the other monsters from book 1. Yashu is the protagonist from book 1. Hated doll, and Daku, aka our dad, and Kiko put it in the basement, aka our mom. Okay, yeah, so yeah, they're pretty decent. Gonna go B tier, honestly. Alright, next up is our dad. They're the normal mode version of Kiko. They have the same gameplay besides maybe being easier, like I said. I personally like the design of Daku more. I think he's more creepy. Both have barbed wire wrapped around their heads, which is interesting. I don't know if there's lore behind that. The new model from the revamp doesn't differ too much from the original model. The face is more revealing than the original model. I might like the original better. I think it might be a little bit creepier. They're just her father for the story. He seems to have some problems with his legs. Is like the only notable thing in his lore. Yeah, but I like him better than his mother, Kiko. So yeah, yeah. Put him in S here. Get up here. There you go. Alright, final enemy of book 1. Yep, the final enemy of book 1. They're fine. The revamped version of the maze is easier and better, but it's still a pain. I wish they made it so if you clicked on the cabinet, you automatically go inside with an animation, like book 2, instead of having to open it, go inside, and close it behind you. The boss is fine. The worst boss in the game. It's a little too basic. The gameplay is just mediocre. The design is pretty cool. The design is 100% better than his old one. It's a nice model and very cool. The story is the same as Sama's, or if you count them as the same, I don't know. They are better than Sama. A tier. Okay, moving on. Okay, so these characters, we're gonna go through these pretty fast, I think. So let's put this one here. They're the wife of Kaito, the one that I put in, as the best before. She randomly left or something. Okay, I don't know. There's no footage of them, so F tier, like, sure. Okay. Their NPC character in chapter 1, he had a brother or something. He is fine. C tier. Not too interesting. Okay, not you. They're one of the developer of the game's friends. They tell you to not go into an area. That's literally it. D tier. Oh, well, this one's gonna be a little interesting. Okay. Okay, he is the main protagonist of book 1. I prefer Izumazu as a protagonist, the person from book 2. He is alright, not too interesting. He doesn't have a big story or anything. He's just a normal person. Yeah, I'm just gonna give him a B. B for bad. Okay, I'm just kidding about that. Okay, moving on to the witch trials. This is pretty cool. I have always liked Kazuko and Hanzu. I think that's how you say their names. They are the two enemies in the forest area of the witch trials, which is a game mode for the Mimic. They pretty much work the same. You have to get different items around the forest while Kazuko and Hanzu hunt you down. You can hide in bushes. They aren't too fast. I always like this section even though I die a lot in it. Kazuko looks fine. They didn't have a revamp or anything, so they look outdated compared to the other enemies. But they're still cool. The lore is they ate some berry that made them have a seizure and died. Weird, but okay. Remember, this is my opinion, so I'm putting A tier, honestly. Yeah. Okay, moving on is the second enemy that I was just talking about. Hanzu is the second enemy in that section. I like them pretty equally. They have the same gameplay. I like his design. I think that Hanzu's design is better than Kazuko's though. He didn't get a revamp, so like Kazuko, he looks a little outdated. Unlike Kazuko, he has no story. I couldn't find a piece of lore. I think they're around the same in terms of how much I like them. Oh, yeah, I think I should put them in the same A tier. Wait, no. What the heck? You going F? You going A? Okay, this one's interesting. I dislike the flesh bags a lot. The gameplay is not great. They roam around at this giant maze, and you have to walk over to them and grab their souls? Like, I don't even know what you grab. You have to do this to 4 of them. I think the revamp was a massive downgrade for them. Each of the flesh bags, Rebirth, Rage, Jealousy, and Control, all had different unique models for the enemies. Well, just the masks, but the bodies stayed the same, but at least they're visibly, like, different. After the revamp, they look identical. I also just prefer the old models. They did that probably to make the game harder, because you have to listen to the noises that they make now to distinguish which, like, enemy it is. But the lore is the best part. They are villagers that turn into these creatures. But yeah, they're made out of same as flesh. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Overall, it's gonna have to be a D tier. Next up, them. But I'm counting this as 1 because they're technically 1 character. Okay, they're pretty cool. Fudo-mote, I think that's how you say them, is 2 different enemies. One has 2 scythes and one has a katana. They go around the map in this town area. It is an important thing to note that they are very fast. After you do more of those puzzle pillars from chapter 3, you grab something off of them like the flesh bags. It's a pain because of how fast they are. Not the greatest in terms of gameplay. I like how they look. I prefer Mote over Fudo. Yeah, they're separated. Like, that's their names. They had a revamp unlike Hanzo and Kazuko. I like the revamp, definitely better. The effects of Fudo's katana dragging on the ground is really cool. She is the mother of Heihachi. She has a mental impulsive disorder. I like her, but the gameplay is lacking. Yeah, A tier. Pretty decent. Ooh, Halloween Trials. Let's go. Kabocha, or Pumpkin in English, is the main enemy of the Halloween Trials. He's very slow and easy to avoid as you recharge the pumpkins. I know a lot of people don't like this section, but I think it's pretty cool. Easy, but at least it isn't frustrating. They never got a revamp, sadly, but they have one of my favorite jump scares. They also look a little outdated. They look cool, though. They don't have any lore since they're just a holiday event enemy. Yeah, they're gonna go in A tier, okay? I don't care what you say. They're going in A. What the? Whoa! Excuse, what the heck just happened? I have to fix all of this. I think you were in B tier, I think. I don't know. What's happening? I'm just gonna keep him in B tier. You, get over here so I can get off this. Negemi, I think that's how you say him, is super hard. One of the fastest, most frustrating enemies in the entire game. There are 3 hallways, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 in the middle. You have to get these keys to unlock these safes. 1 key is down each hallway, but he's faster than the speed of light. This torso can crawl a marathon in a second. If he sees you, you're dead. No hiding spots. If you are down a hallway and he sees you, it's game over. Probably died in this section more than any other one. Negemi did not get revamped. He looks alright. He looks funny and creepy. Like I said, none of the enemies from the Halloween Trials has lore. He is difficult and unfair. But at the same time, I like how unfair and fast he is, because it almost feels like a joke. Like, I don't know. I'm, for some reason, putting him in B. Okay? Don't judge me. Moving on, we have you. We don't have you, apparently. I lied. We have you. They are pretty difficult, not as difficult as Negemi. You have to charge the candles each hour, and they get unlit once the candle timer is up. This one's super easy in a group as long as the candles light right, because you have to time them, like, make sure they're not too close to the end timer. Tayo, I think that's how you say their name, does seem a little unfair. There are a lot of candles to light, and I've seen them get stuck multiple times. Tayo, just like the other 2, did not get revamped. So again, they look a little outdated. I think Tayo held up the most out of all of them, though. I think they look pretty good. So yeah, yet again, no lore. I'll put them in B tier. Okay, this one's pretty interesting. He is mega hard. Half the time, it's just a waiting game and a strategizing to get around him. The map is small and there isn't safe lights in every room. There are a lot of orbs. I'll get to the second half of this section where we move on to Corrupted Heihachi. He is very fast and hard to plan your movements with his AI. It is definitely cool to beat his section after his stressful challenge. He does look pretty cool. He had a revamp. He looks similar to his original model, but it definitely looks better. He was the ruler of Jigoku, okay? He was. So I don't know who's the current ruler, but that's basically the only lore there is for him. But yeah, in Chapter 3 of Book 2, Shigami chases you at the end. It is very difficult and a fast-paced chase. It's very trial and error. I don't think it changed my opinion about him too much. He's very aggressive and difficult, just like in the Death Trials. He does look cool with his hood and the jump scare when he cuts you in half. Overall, cool. I'm gonna put him in A tier. I think that's fair. I don't like his section. Okay, move on to you. The second half of this challenge is insane. You have to get lucky 2 times to get it. So you have to get Akamanto. I don't know why these names have to be so complicated. And Evil Heihachi. That's what I'm going to call him to start the challenge. It's basically the Shinigami challenge, but Shinigami and the Evil Heihachi. It's very difficult. Her gameplay is the same as Shinigami, I'm pretty sure, but with both of them, it gets too chaotic. It just becomes a waiting game. She looks alright. She didn't get a revamp, sadly. She does look a little outdated, though. She has no story. Oh, well, whoops. Just like Heihachi. Last tier list, I gave her an A tier. I never really played the Heihachi request then. Now that I played it, my opinion has changed on her. Overall, she's alright, but I was going to put her in B tier. Moving on, it's you. They are the only way to get into Jigoku, or like the Death Trials. You answer the question correctly and you'll go. They have a chance of spawning, and the question stays the same, so it'll be easy. So yeah, not great gameplay, they look alright. They look like they're in a red cocoon with some weird face. They have no lore, I don't know. D tier, it's not a big fan. Okay, moving on to Krampus. My voice is going to be gone after this. Krampus is one and the only enemy in the Outlaws Trials. Krampus is one and the only enemy in the Christmas Trials. He can be annoying. At least there's a lot of hiding spots. You have different objectives to do. One of the hardest ones is to take the key off of them. I really dislike when they make you have to take something off of the enemy. He looks pretty decent though. I kind of miss his old design before his revamp. They made his teeth sharper and put a Santa hat on him and a Santa suit. I don't know, I just kind of like the old one. He has no lore because he has a holiday event character like always. Let's put him in B. Okay. Bye-bye. See, I think my opinion has changed a little bit. Moving on to Elf. They're just an NPC that tells you what to do. Same with the Santa developer person that is Santa. I don't know. Whatever. C tier. Okay? Don't know what to really say about you. Okay? Just bye. You didn't even help us at all. Like, thanks. Okay. Ooh, okay. Book 2, Chapter 1. In Chapter 1, he crashes your boat and acts like a prop on the map. In Chapter 2, he finally has a real appearance. And it's fine. All you do is just hide behind rocks when a spotlight gets near you. Or you can just sprint past it like I do. I wish he had better gameplay, to be honest. He had a good build-up. His part in Chapter 2 is forgettable. Surprisingly, since he appeared so much in Chapter 1, and I think he's going to have a more important part. He looks decent. Basic but decent. He doesn't have an official story, but in Japanese mythology, they were drowned priests that were killed by angry villagers. Which is interesting. Other than that, there's no other backstory that I can find. I'm going to shove him in B tier. Ren. There you go. Let's do this. The first monster encounter in Book 2. She isn't crazy annoying. Book 2 tries to stay away from the unfair death mazes. Her area is similar to that, but it seems like she likes to camp the well. You have to get the rats and poison them in the well, then ring the bell and set the rat down. The bell and the well, oh yeah, that's rhymed a little bit, are really close to each other. Rin likes to camp that area. She looks pretty cool though. Her jaw looks creepy and she's very tall. Not bad at all. Her story is very interesting. She basically thought her sister was using their money to buy food for herself when she was saving money for them. Rin killed her sister and ate her. Yeah. Oh yeah, and her sister is called Mio, by the way. Yeah, sick stuff. Then her sister grew on the back of her head. Cool, right? I like their sister better. So yeah, they're gonna go in A tier. Okay, here's her sister. Mio is in the back of Rin's head the entire time. After Rin's part is done, Mio grows super big and chases down you in a large hallway. I've done the chase multiple times because if they open these doors in front of you while being chased, people can close them too. So if two people opening the door at the same time, it will open and then close immediately. That has always bothered me. Either way, decent chase, but I'm sad that they won't have a part besides the chase. They look really good on the back of Rin's head. They also look cool in the chase. They grow into this giant blob. I already explained the story of Mio in Rin's section. I'm gonna have to give Mio a S tier. There you go, another S tier. Okay, moving on to the snake. In Chapter 1, their part is creepy and really good at first. It's hard to figure out for the first time. After a lot of time, it gets mega easy. There is no variation. The chase is simple but alright. The boss fight in Chapter 2, not counting the second boss variation yet by the way, gets tedious, especially since it takes so many shots to kill it, and it is hard to hit. I think there needs to be more interesting attack variations instead of the simple attacks. Maybe a whale jumps onto one of the sides of the boat and it cannot get over there until it leaves. They look really good, one of the best models in my opinion. They are the guardian of Yokai Town. That's basically the only lore they got. Overall, I think the boss fight is cool in the concept of the cannons, but is lacking for attack moves. I'm still gonna give her an S tier. My best buddy. I really like him. He's probably one of the most funny enemies in the entire game. Just look at his tongue. He walks around the town and all you have to do is hide under the roofs and stuff to get away from him. He can be annoying, but not too bad. He just roams around and is a silly goose. Okay, he looks pretty funny. He has a huge tongue that wiggles and jiggles around. He basically makes the funniest noises in the game. His face and his body might be a little bit basic, but his tongue makes up for it. Sadly, he has no story. I'm not fully sure which mythology creature he is. I don't care if he doesn't deserve it. Still gonna put him in S tier. Okay, there you go. Moving on, we have you. They have one of the most unique parts in the game, having to trace the drawing line while Takane wraps, I think that's how you say her name, their head around you is creepy. It has always been one of my favorite parts. The character is similar to Megumi, the monster from Chapter 2 of Book 1, but they came first, not the revamp of Megumi. She looks fine, she is creepy though, sadly she has no lore. Their Japanese mythology is weird. Their Roku, I'm not going to say it. It says, that thing ate food during the day and lamp oil by night. I have no clue what that's supposed to mean, but A tier because the model and story is lacking. Okay, enjoy your lamp oil. Okay, moving on to you. Okay, the Blind Witch is a pretty hard enemy. There are 3 floors in the building, but it is very small. I like to just randomly select the paintings instead of actually figuring out the code. This part is all about timing. They're pretty fast, but get stuck often. Half the time, you'll be in the entrance waiting to go. They're very creepy, one of my favorite looking enemies, especially the jump scare. They don't have any lore, sadly. They are, I don't even know how to say it. I didn't look too much into their story. Either way, yeah, I'm still gonna put you in the S here. Okay, now to you. This blobby boy is my brother's worst enemy. He is in the middle floor of the ship. Besides guarding one candle, all he is a small obstacle between the 2 elevators. He is slow. In this section, you can revive players when they die. Since the middle floor is so small, he camps the bodies. He looks okay, nothing too special or anything. He has no lore like half the enemies in Book 2. I don't know what he's based on either. Give him C for... Oh, I should have given B for Blob. Whatever. I'm still going to give him C. Your turn. He stays at the top floor of the ship. He's probably the least annoying slash frustrating enemy on the ship. Up in the control room, he seems to be safe most of the time. Going down to the dining area shouldn't be too bad. Just wait until he passes and goes to the control room. But getting back to the elevator is the hardest part. He is really fast too. He looks weird, but I like how he looks. He always crosses his arms and shakes like he's cold for some reason. He, sadly, just like all the other characters, does not have any lore. Doesn't stop me from putting him in S tier. Boom. Moving on to you. Okay, he's the hardest enemy out of the ship monsters. He is the only one on the bottom floor. If you get out of the elevator at the wrong time, you are dead. I've been killed many times by him, coming right when I exited the elevator. It feels risky going for the candles, especially the candle all the way on the left by the tree. Whenever I play, I always go upstairs to avoid Tenome. He looks really good. His jump scares are one of my favorites. I like the eyes on his hands. Yet again, no lore. I tend to like a character specifically because of how they look or the gameplay, because Tenome is not very good for me in gameplay, but I love how he looks. Okay, I'm gonna put him in S tier. Putting him up. There you go. Okay, next up is Jealousy. They are the main enemy of Book 2. They haven't had a chase or a gameplay segment yet. They've had 2 cutscenes, one at the end of Chapter 1 and one in Chapter 2, and technically their third form in Chapter 3. They look good, pretty decent. I like the body of the older model better, but the face of this one's really good. They don't have any backstory besides them getting sealed underwater by the samurai guy, and they have a cult called, I don't know, and so yeah, that's basically it. A tier, because they don't have much to hate or like. Okay, now these are the characters that probably go pretty fast. They have a couple of lines. They just tell you where Kenio is. Sadly, he dies shortly after. They look okay. They have no lore. Just put them in C tier. Next up is Kenio. They have a few lines, but they're a jerk. They look fine, no lore. In Chapter 3, they talk a little bit, nothing crazy in Chapter 3, so it does not save them from F tier. Okay, put you in F tier, move on to you. He's in the beginning of the village and says something, then appears in the caves leading to the boat. He's funny and looks really weird. His sandals and mouth are amazing. No lore, but yeah, A tier. Moving on to you. She is very tricky to rank. Like I said, Kiko is going to be the protagonist of the Witch Trials, so in the future, Juno will not be the protagonist of the chapter. She is Yashu's cousin, aka the main character of Book 1. I can't really consider her to have that lore, since it's confirmed that she will not be the protagonist. So I'm going to have to give her F tier. Yeah, sorry, but I don't know, man. Okay, that's you. He is my favorite protagonist in the game. He's the most interesting, especially with the lore about his brother. Not much to say about him. Yeah, I'm gonna give him an A tier. Okay, moving on to you. The Evil God is a creator of all 4 beasts. As a short appearance at the end of Book 1 when it drags Sama's body away, it looks like a pillar of arms and hands. It does not have any lore besides being the creator of Rebirth, Jealousy, Control, and Rage. Solid. Whoops. Solid B tier. Okay, next up is you. I like Rage a lot. Probably my favorite one of the beasts. We obviously basically know nothing about him besides being sealed away by the samurai. It looks the most crazy and animalistic, so I'm just gonna have to go S tier. I don't know, I really like him. And this is the old design. I didn't put the new one in for some reason. Okay, next up is you. Probably the creepiest, but sadly least favorite out of the beasts. Yet again, we know nothing besides they're sealed away. They look interesting, especially the umbrella, but I don't know if I like how human they look. Okay, put them in B tier. Move on to, I think it's you. Senzai is our brother and is a villain. He has a couple of jump scares in Chapter 1. We also saw him dead on a table in the beginning of the chapter. In Chapter 2, he's at the end and has a speech before Jealousy rips out our heart. He punches us in the face. He looks pretty creepy in the monster version. His lore is that he went to an island and came back dead, I'm pretty sure. So I guess I'm just gonna put him in A because it's interesting lore. I'm putting him with him, I think. Okay, next up it's you. Okay, what else do I have to say? S tier. Like, bro thought I actually wasn't gonna put him in S tier. Where else would he go? Okay. Okay, wait. What is this supposed to be? Yashu's father? But that's Deku. What is wrong with it? Let's go in F tier. I don't know. Bird. B for bird. Okay. Moving on. You got you. Kind of basic, but interesting. C tier. You. They have decent jump scares. B tier. Ignore this. This is just a repeat of my first tier list. I don't know why I added her. She was a village leader. I'm just gonna say C tier. Okay, now you. She was Juno's friend. Yet again, I don't know why I put him here. D tier. Okay, we completed it. Time to sort it, and then we'll move on to, you know, the games. So, that took a while, man. No, my bones are broken. I'm never writing a script like that ever again. Okay. Let's see. So let's go in F tier. Okay, that then go at the bottom. This can go at the bottom too. I think in between these two are good. Okay, over here, D. Yeah, that can be at the bottom of this, I guess. Yeah. Okay, for C tier, I think you can stay at the bottom. You can go here. You're better. You're better. No, you can go like down here. I'll go here and here, but I like you better. I think that's good, but I like you the best out of these. Okay, B tier. The angel. Okay, I like the angel better. Here. I think like that's good. Here. Okay, I guess I like the evil version better. You, yeah, I guess I like you better than your brother. I mean, because we play as him. I don't like this thing as much. I like him better than that version. Okay, S tier. This is the most important. You get to go on the bottom of S tier. Yeah, you get to go next. Okay. You get to go. Do I like him better than that? Yes. Okay. Where do I like it? Past. You get to get past. No, you get to go under. You get to get past. Past. Not past. You get to stay there. You get to pass. You get to pass. You get to stay there. You get to pass. You can stay here. I think I like him better. I think that's like good. And then you two. I think I like you. After the revamp, I think I like him like this. And you? I think I'm gonna put you. I don't think he's my favorite anymore. It's hard to tell which one's my favorite. I think it might be still this guy. It's getting hard. I don't know. I think he's probably still my favorite. I think he's still my favorite after that. Here's my official tier list, I think. Yeah, so now we have to move on to the games. Yay! So yeah, that's my official tier list. Yeah, bye-bye. Okay, I am back, and let's just finish this off, okay? So it's been like around like 2-3 weeks, so actually more like 1 or 2. So let's just finish this off. I finally got around to playing that Christmas event, and it's been a while. I did not plan on making this video for this long, but it's been taking me a while to edit. So let's just try to finish this off quick. First up, we have you. So this thing you have to click on to get into the actual Christmas event. It's fine. It basically doesn't really do anything. It looks weird and it makes weird noises. Just this part of the video is not scripted because I don't make a script for this. So I'm just gonna have to do this on the spot. Let's just say C tier because it kind of looks funny. And I'll put it above, but below. Yeah, I think that's good. All right. Next up, we have you. So Santa, you know, whatever. And this guy, I think is supposed to be the developer of the game. This is who you are in the Christmas event. You like possess him or something. You take out your shotgun and go hunting. I don't know. It's cool. I like I can use a shotgun and stuff. I still don't know where to put him. Maybe, it's probably C tier again. Let's go above, but below. Yeah, because it's just a character that you are. Doesn't really have a personality or a story necessarily. But, yeah, I like the shotgun. And now we have the boss. So the boss I've never actually beaten. I've never actually beaten the boss. I did a video on it, and it took a long time to try to do it. It's just a pain in the butt, okay? I can't do it. I don't know. I might do it off camera, but it takes so long to get to. And the saves actually don't save if you got the, you know, like little guy, or I forget what the heck the little thing's name is. So it's such a pain in the butt to get there. Then when you die instantly, it really sucks. He looks cool and all. He doesn't really have a story. I don't know where to put him because he looks pretty cool. And, it's just his boss is just such a pain. And you know how long it takes to get back. I'm just gonna go... I'll go here. Okay? This thing, I think, is the best, probably, out of all of them. So, I don't know what thing is up with this thing. So, for one, it's the lantern that you get. And, I never actually fully beat the event. But I think it just sits there while you fight it. And it's in the cutscene, I think. So, I think it literally just sits there in the arena while you fight. I don't know what's up with it. I think I'm gonna give it a C tier again. But I think it's the best out of all of them. Because it's not frustrating. It's funny. It's cute. And it's the lantern. I think I'm gonna go probably here. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Yeah, I had a little change of plans. So next video, well, not maybe like my literal next video, but I'm gonna have a video of all the games or chapters in the tier list. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. I was going to have it as a separate video. So this video is just the characters. I might have mentioned it a couple times in the video that there was the chapters. But I planned on, recently, I'm just going to make it so it's just 2 separate videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the chapter ranking video or tier list. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good tier list. It's been like a week or 2 since I actually tried to do this. Try to get this video finished and out. Yeah, please subscribe, guys. This will take me a while. Follow me on Twitter in the description below, but you can join my Discord as well. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time when I do the tier list for all the chapters. Oh yeah, and Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 is coming out tomorrow. Yeah, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!